under the possible, let's just call it a working theory, that Biden becomes president. Oh my God, this notion, like Bernie's saying, get rid of Trump and we'll fight Biden on day one. Love you, Bernie, but get your head out of the sand. The Young Turks and these other outlets, we could move Biden left. Listen, I told you yesterday, a lot of people didn't like it, but I told you what I'm going to do. I told you, even though I know Biden's corrupt, even though I know he's a warmonger, even though I know he's a servant of Wall Street, about 3 weeks ago, I changed my mind. I am going to vote for him. I have my reasons, which is I think Trump is a psychopath. I thought he was a sociopath. It's moved to psychopath. However, I'm not going to just cover my eyes just because I'm personally going to vote for Biden. I'm not going to tell other people what to do. And I'm also not going to censor myself to not tell you like it is. Biden's corrupt and Biden is a neoliberal warmonger. And if he wins, even though I am willing to vote for him just to get rid of Trump, I'm not going to pretend to you, we'll fight him on day one and move him left. No, he's not moving left. And I'm about to tell you why. So, in addition to doing fundraisers with Chris Corgi, the mega donor to Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the mega donor to Hillary Clinton, the mega donor to Bill Clinton, the Bernie-hating DNC finance chair, here's who Biden's considering in his cabinet. We start with Ron Klain. Everybody, you ever watch Recount on HBO? Before Kevin Spacey was exposed as a, degenerate, a sexual deviant, he played Ron Klain in the movie about the 2000 recount. Well, Mr. Klain, who is being talked about as Joe Biden's chief of staff, he is a veteran of Wall Street. Klain is the president of Case Holdings and serves as the general counsel for Revolution, a venture capital firm. Just what we need, a chief of staff from Wall Street for Joe Biden. Can't get enough. Secretary of State, possibly Al Blinken, a longtime neoliberal member of the military-industrial complex. Susan Rice, the Republicans hate her for the whole Benghazi nonsense. I dislike her because she's a neoliberal warmonger, just like the rest of them. Chris Coons, Biden's fellow senator from Delaware, who he's BFF with. He was primaried by a progressive. He is a corporate Democrat, sold out, bought off neoliberal. And Chris Murphy from Connecticut. I don't have a lot to say about Murphy. My guess is it would go to Susan Rice. Secretary of Defense. Oh, my God. Michelle Flournoy. Holy cow. Do you know anything about Michelle Flournoy, folks? Well, if Hillary Clinton had become president, Michelle Flournoy was a lock for Secretary of Defense. If you're going to take, if you have a choice between a warmonger man or a warmonger female, I guess we'll go with the female so we could be woke. But she was for the Iraq War. She was for Obama surging in Afghanistan, even though Obama ran on getting the hell out of Afghanistan. She was for the Iraq War. She was for Obama's troop surge in Afghanistan. She was for and highly part of, because she was part of the Obama administration. I think she was Under Secretary of Defense or something like that. She was for our disastrous intervention, i.e. occupation of Libya. Go ask Libya how it's working out now. They have modern-day slave trades in Libya after we took out Gaddafi. She was for that. I'll read you more. This from Common Dreams. If the Democrats manage to push Joe Biden over the finish line in November's election, he will find himself presiding over a decadent, declining empire. He will either continue the policies that have led the American empire to decadence and decline, or seize the moment to move our nation into a new phase, a transition to a peaceful and sustainable post-imperial future. The foreign policy team Biden assembles will be key, including his choice for Secretary of Defense. But Biden's rumored favorite, Michelle Flournoy, is not the gal for this historic moment. Yes, she would be breaking the glass ceiling as the first female Secretary of Defense, but as one of the architects of our endless wars and record military budgets, she would only help to steer the American empire farther down its current path of lost wars, corrupt militarism, and terminal decline. So, in 1976, General John Glubb, the retired British commander of Jordan's Arab Legion, wrote a little booklet titled The Fate of Empires. Glubb observed how each of the world's empires evolved through 6 stages, which he called the Age of Pioneers, the Age of Conquest, the Age of Commerce, the Age of Affluence, the Age of Intellect, and the Age of Decadence and Decline. Despite enormous differences in technology, politics, and culture between empires and eras, the whole process in each and every case took about 250 years. Well, let's look at her record. As Assistant Secretary of Defense for Strategy under President Clinton. So she worked under Bill Clinton. That's how far back she goes. Flournoy was the principal author of the May 97 Quadrennial Defense Review, which laid the ideological foundation for the endless wars that followed. Under defense strategy, the Quadrennial Defense Review announced that the U.S. would no longer be bound by the UN's Charter's prohibition against the threat of against the threat or use of military force. It declared that when the interests at stake are vital, we should do whatever it takes to defend them, including, when necessary, the unilateral use of military power. I think she left out of that document when oil and mineral interests are at stake, not U.S. defense interests. Flournoy's career has been marked by the unethical spinning of revolving doors between the Pentagon, consulting firms helping businesses procure Pentagon contracts, and military-industrial think tanks like the Center for New American Security, which she co-founded in 2007. In 2009, she joined the Obama administration as Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, where she helped engineer political and humanitarian disasters in Libya and Syria, and a new escalation of the endless wars in Afghanistan before resigning in 2012. From 2013 to 2016, she joined Boston Consulting, trading on her Pentagon connections to boost the firm's military contracts from $1.6 million in 2013 to $32 million in 2016. Wow! By 2017, Flournoy herself was raking in $452,000 a year. In 2017, she and Obama's Deputy Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, founded their own corporate consulting business, where Flournoy continued to cash in on her contracts by helping companies successfully navigate the complex bureaucracy of winning enormous Pentagon contracts. That's interesting because she co-founded it. She co-founded that company with Al Blinken, who's being considered for Biden's Secretary of State. He was cashing in on his government role to help procure defense contracts for private defense companies and take home a nice paycheck of his own. Wow. I guess that's what Biden meant. Nothing will fundamentally change. Holy cow. Holy cow. I mean, Trump has certainly, elevated and continued the United Corporations of America's swamp, but Biden seems to be wanting to create a super swamp. That's right, a super swamp. But it gets better. It gets better, folks. So that's who he's considering for Secretary of State, Al Blinken, a neoliberal warmonger, and for Secretary of Defense, Michelle Flournoy, a neoliberal warmonger whose best hits include supporting the Iraq War, Obama's Afghanistan surge, disastrous U.S. intervention in Libya and Syria, and then she went out and, like we all do in the United Corporations of America, cashed in on her warmongering and military-industrial complex complicity to make a lot of money in private defense contract businesses. And finally, she might become the defense secretary. But she's a woman, Jordan. Rah, rah! Give me a effing break. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.